Cool, I think we are live. Hello everybody and welcome back to ULC Tier 2. Today it is round number 3 and we are in Spain. It looks nice and sunny for qualifying, and today I am joined by the Fredsters. How are you doing on this fine evening here for some commentary?
I'm excited. I mean, it's looking to be a good bit of racing here today at Spain. It's a good track. There's plenty of opportunities to overtake, so hopefully it's a good one.
Hopefully so. If round 1 and 2 has got anything to go by, it's going to be a tasty one here in Spain. So drivers just coming out for their first couple of laps here, and if anything, if the first 2 races go anything to go by, Fred, this race should be another tantalising one.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the first few races have been very close. I mean, for Australia, we had a three-way battle for the lead on the final lap, including Danny, Jason and Thomas. And then literally last week, we had Surprise and Jason battling it out on the final lap for the win, with Jason snatching it after Surprise basically led the entire race. So hopefully we can see just as much action this week.
Yeah, definitely. We've had some absolute just last lap battles in race 1 and 2, and hopefully we have the same here. And hopefully we can get some more guys involved. But yeah, let us know in the Twitch chat who you are supporting tonight. We'll see who everyone's going for. It should be a great one. But these guys, so the top guys should be hitting sort of mid 17 mark, high 17 mark today. We've got Surprise, Stone, Danny, Jason, the guys who have been up there so far, but there's also a chance for some of the other guys to get involved as well. So we'll have to wait and see what these guys can do. Just currently on board with Thomas, representing SRL tonight, just starting his lap. So, Fred, who are you fancying for pole this evening? You could judge by the first race. There's plenty of guys who could get it, but who do you fancy tonight?
I mean, going by, of course, the results we've had previously, we've got Jason, who's won the past 2 races, so obviously he's going to be looking like a favourite. But we have got Surprise, we've got Danny, we've got Thomas, we've got plenty of people who could all be in a shot of getting pole today. And Surprise especially, because we know he got a DNF in the first race, but he got first stolen from him on the final lap last week, so he's definitely going to be wanting to do better this week.
Yeah, there's this Surprise who guttingly lost it. I think his tyre was really bad towards the end as well. I think that may have caused him to lose it right at the end. But Jason, Mr. Consistent, is definitely one to watch tonight. But these guys just starting their first lap. We'll get some times pretty soon. I think it's one of the Sauber drivers who's currently leading these guys. Yeah, it looks like it's Panther. No, not Panther. Jason, there we go. It is Jason. Man representing AOR this evening comes round the final chicane. Where will Jason? Well, he will pop up into first, but we'll see how he compares to everybody else.
The yellow flag set to 3. That's for Panther. Yeah.
Maybe slowing down to start his proper lap potentially, but these guys are starting to come in with the times. 18.5 currently from ESR Stone, who just missed out on the podium last week. A bit of controversy with Stone last week as well, with his contact with Tom on the penultimate corner. If you guys watched that, if you haven't, you can go back and watch the stream. It is on YouTube and Twitch, but of course watch it afterwards. You want to see this race first. So yeah, these guys just getting some laps in. Still plenty of guys left to do laps here, Fred. But have you got much experience racing around Spain? Maybe some tips for these guys for the race?
Yeah, I mean, Spain's probably one of the harder tracks on the calendar. Tyre wear's pretty bad around here. You're going to be wanting to try and do a one-stop. But there's plenty of places to overtake. There's also plenty of places to make mistakes. There's several corners around here, especially the hairpin, one of them. And just a simple lock-up or a simple shift down too much, and you could be out.
Yeah, definitely. There's, like you said, there's plenty of mistakes, but plenty of runoff as well. So if they do make a mistake, the crash that we with Rosberg and Hamilton a couple of years ago. Hopefully we have some clean racing with these guys, all top-notch drivers, so you rarely see any penalties or any too big of a crash, and if we have some sort of lag incident. But yeah, hopefully we see some clean, respectful racing tonight. But we've got 17 drivers have done their laps, so now that's 18, so just Clays is the only one yet to set a lap. But currently it is Stone, Jason and Danny top 3, Drawmaster in 4th, Thomas in 5th, Surprise 6th, BPRL Imp, Melanie 8th, and Panther 9th, and F1 Gravity rounds off the top 10 so far.
Yeah, just speaking about Clay's not setting a lap, he actually made a mistake and was in the grass a while back. I didn't see what corner it was exactly, but I did see he'd made a mistake, so that's probably why he's back into the pits now and probably to go for a second run at a lap.
Yeah, Clay's had a bit of trouble last week with his front wing, so hopefully he gets some more. Hopefully he does a bit better today. But let us know who you guys want some hype into that chat. I'm going to share the stream out. That would be fun. Share it on all platforms so we can get some more people watching Tier 2. You know, maybe it's even better racing than Tier 1, but I won't be too. I won't go into that. Yeah, Stone has just jumped Jason actually. Oh no, he didn't know Stone was there already. My mistake. But yeah, a lot of people coming in to the pits now, and they're just getting ready to put a new set of tyres on, and then we should see some more laps, and hopefully we'll see those times tumbling, Fred.
Yeah, because normally we say that the last 3 minutes is where the track is at its finest, so we could see a lot quicker lap times towards the end of the session, maybe seeing Jason, Danny, or even Surprise fight for that pole and try and rob it off ESR Stone, who currently is on pole at the moment with a 1:18.507.
Yeah, Stone, I believe he was 4th or 5th last week in Bahrain. He's currently, like you said, on pole. But looking at strategy, Fred, are we saying a one-stop and soft to medium, or will these guys not be
Soft to hard?
Okay, cool. Well, so maybe there's one or two who work with the medium strategy, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. But if you guys want me to check any of the detail on me, let me know, and I can change it for you. We've got all sorts of options we can do, but some of these guys are now coming on track. That is Devout actually coming in, but the Silent Mole going very slowly. Has he run out of fuel?
Looks like he's run out of fuel.
Yeah,
I'm going to assume his car's ghosting.
Yeah, there we go. Into the
Limping
pits,
back to the pits.
Yeah. No one out yet. It seems Smithson actually is out on a lap. Currently down in 13th. Yes, our Smithson, or Ollie Bob, as previously known. Coming through Sector 2 now. Looks to be okay at the moment. Doesn't tell me. Let's check his lap telemetry. See how he's doing. Seems to be okay at the moment. On track. So
3 temps down on Stone in the first sector. So not setting the world alight, but certainly did a good job, because we know Stone is a Tier 1 driver. So
yeah,
very quick, of course.
Yeah, Stone in the top division of AOR and many other leagues as well. But yeah, currently still on pole. But Smithson, yeah, a bit further down. He has been involved near the front last week. Was a bit of a pain in the arse in the first race, getting in the way of Jason and Danny's battle in Australia. But he's coming into the pits. I think should have enough time, Fred, to get a new set of tyres on as well.
Yeah, yeah, he should be fine.
Yeah. So these guys all still in the pit, the majority of them. Some of them are out now. Let's get bored with Goblin, who's on his outlap. Toro Rosso and the BPL guys not doing fantastically in the first 2 races, but this may change. You got BPL up in 9th at the moment, so we could see a change of fortune for those guys. And yeah, still 3 minutes to go, so still plenty of time for these guys to set more laps, and hopefully we see another battle for pole.
Yep, so Danny's just started a lap now, so he's in the first sector currently. Just going to have a look at what his sector times are looking like now. He's at 21.8 first sector, which is faster than Stone by about a tenth. So as we said, the times are falling, and Danny could potentially take pole here and be the one to beat.
Yeah, Danny, I believe when I spoke to him last week in the podium interview, he said this is one of his best tracks. So keep an eye on Danny, the man representing STS with Surprise. Surprise down in 7th at the moment, but we'll keep an eye on all these times. There's still 2 minutes to go, so there still will be a lot of jostling for positions out there. We'll keep an eye on if people change. But Danny just coming through the final sector, tricky chicane to negotiate. Don't want to take too much of the curb, otherwise your car gets sent to absolute Narnia. But Danny seems to negotiate that pretty
he's got
well.
a good exit there.
And where will Danny pop out? Currently in 3rd. Will he move up?
It's going to be.
Oh,
it is.
There we go. It's a good lap from Danny there. Puts him onto pole, but he still has just about enough time to do another lap here, Fred. So, but you know, we still got plenty more guys yet to do their laps, and there's still some more fighting to do.
Jason's just going down the main straight now to begin his lap, and also Stone is just coming down now. So the 2 Sauber drivers going to be going for their laps and trying to take Danny off pole now. Yeah,
it's going to be a really competitive up at the front, vying for that top spot here in Spain. but unfortunately we don't know the conditions. So this could all be for nothing, Fred. It could be an absolute whitewash, and it could be piss it down. I haven't seen many wet races around Spain. Usually it's a sunny race, due to the climate and the way the dynamic weather system works. But you never know what happens with this game. So it could be raining, but. Yeah, just on board with Stone. He comes through the first sector. Seems to be okay so far. Coming towards, but then I'm not very good at the game, so but I'm sure these guys can negotiate it pretty well. Onto the second DRS straight on the track, a short straight ahead. Who could that be for? That may be Danny coming into the pits actually. Not 100% on that, but Stone seems to be okay through this twisty section in sector 3. More yellow flags. People seem to be. Oh, that's
Jason's just come into the line now.
Yeah, Goblin has retired. Goblin's given up, so he will start the maximum.
Jason does not improve.
Okay, Jason not improving. What about Stone? Will we see an improvement? He doesn't improve. Okay, Stone stays in second.
No, he did improve, but. Just not enough to beat Danny. Did a 1:18.4. It was originally a 1:18.5.
I see. Okay, my mistake. Yeah, so Stone improving, but not there yet. We've got a couple of retirements. People giving up with their laps. So 3 seconds to go. We should see some fines. Already retired. What else we got near the end of the track? What have we got?
We've got Thomas near the final sector.
So surprise into the fourth. Okay. But then he's been beaten by Imp. Oh, geez, that's a great lap from Imp coming up to third. This may be his favourite track coming up to third here. Who else have we got near the end? I think you said
Thomas into seventh.
Seventh. Who else have we got? Devout coming around the final bend. Where will he pop out? Doesn't improve. Stays in eighth.
Stone's on a lap, but he's not improving again. He's down in sets 2 by a good second, so I'm going to say that it looks like Danny is set for pole now.
It looks like, out of nowhere, Shurik has come in and put P2. We did not expect that, Fred. Out of nowhere from the Horseman, and he moves up to second here in Spain. And I think Isa Happen or Neil Tanner, as he was previously known as, is the last man to come across the line. Where will he pop out?
He goes
fourth. Wow, great lap from the RGL man. And that is the final qualifying result. So just waiting for these drivers to retire, and we can go down the full grid. But yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying so far. It's been pretty close. The gap, actually, Fred, if you look at 4th to 7th, is split by 100th. There's 2 guys with exactly the same lap time.
Yeah, 2 guys with identical lap times. Jesus, that shows how close it is between the field.
If you got exactly the same lap time, how does that work then? How is it done? Why is Jason?
Well, I thought it was based on whoever set the lap first gets a position ahead, but Verstappen, I was pretty sure, set the lap after him. So for him to be 4th is a bit odd. So I don't know how it's working now.
Oh no! I just realised it's Verstappen and Imp got the same time, and Jason and Surprising have the same time.
Yeah.
So, wow, that is incredible. Not anyone else got the same. No, everyone else is different. But wow, what are the chances of that? That is a first.
Very close.
that's impressive there. But yeah, just waiting on Panther actually just to retire, and then we can get moving to the race. But yeah, let us. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream. Let us know who you fancy for the win, who will be the dark horse, and crash first. Hopefully nobody crashes. You never know. Yeah, just waiting. Yeah, Panther's just taking his, waiting for just ensure everybody waits up. But here we go. Here's the final qualifying results. So Danny gets pole with Shurik in second, Stone third, Verstappen fourth, BPRL Imp in 5th, Jason 6th, Surprise 7th, Thomas 8th, Devout 9th, Melanie 10th, 11th, Smithson 12th, Brandy 13th, Clay's 14th, Silent Mole 15th, Panther 16th, Casey 17th, F1 Gravity 18th, Goblin 19th, and that rounds it off. Jeez, that's a long list of drivers.
Yeah, so just looking at the actual Twitch chat, someone mentioned that when they had the exact same lap time, they actually used a bit of a glitch with Codemasters, started on top of someone. So hopefully that does not happen. We do not have any issues for anyone during the race. But very close times again between 4 drivers. 2 of them getting identical laps with one another. So competitiveness in the field.
Yeah, it's incredible how close this grid is in Tier 2. You know, oh no, Stone's left the session. Oh, nightmare. The man who was up the grid is gone. Hopefully we can get him back in. But yeah, said Fred, you know, it's so clear. You know, it's as close as Tier 1. There's some fantastic drivers in here. I don't think the credit they deserve really, but waiting for everyone in. It doesn't look like rain, so it should be a nice dry. Some super quick times here in Spain, and hopefully we have a good race. But of course, Stone's drawn back, so we're all good again.
And for the countdowns going on, and I think we will begin as we don't have formation lap on. I'm pretty. So hopefully it'll be an race. Hopefully we get some good battles, and hopefully some people advance in the championship as we might and win another race, or we might see a new leader like Danny because he is on pole. So we've got 4 lights, 5 lights. And lights out and away we go.
Yeah, we're in contact in the back actually, but Danny seems to get a good start there with Shurik behind him. Hopefully no one has damage in that midfield as they come towards turn 1. That is Thomas going down, trying to go down the inside of Devout.
There's been contact.
Oh, it looks like force in ground there. And that's a Haas. I think that's Panther spinning there. Silent Mole and Drawmaster battling away at the back. Hopefully no one has damage, but it's not great towards the back of the grid. But Danny already had a great start. Already got 6/10 over Shurik behind him. Surprise, a great start from him, starting in P6 or 7. Now up into 3rd. Jason down in 4th. Thomas 5th. Devout 6th. Menley back there as well. Clay, Smithson and Brandy runs off the top 10 so far.
Yeah, so as we mentioned, ESR Stone managed to join back, but unfortunately he did not get into his car, because as you see, he's currently in P20 in the pits. So that means ESR Stone's race is over before it even began, unfortunately, so shame for him.
Nightmare for the AOR, man. That's not going to help AOR's chance at the title here in ULC, but there's battling all. It's difficult to know who to stay on board with, really, but try and stay on board with the leading pack so far. Danny's still leading by 5/10 over Shurik, and surprise, looking very, very racy behind Shurik. Danny got a great lead so far. Of course, no DRS until lap number 3. Danny, of course, is the fastest lap so far, but we have a huge train behind him with all the guys staying very, very close at the moment on track. And these guys just keeping it cool, making sure that we keep the lines, making sure making sure they stay nice and clean through these first couple of laps. Who else have we got? Anyone else close on track? Verstappen is right on the back of Gravity here as they come towards the start of Sector 2. Can he pop it down the inside? He tried the move, but he's had an awful start actually, Fred, losing 8 places, and he managed to get the move stick, and that's a move up into 11th there.
He's starting on the hard. Oh no, it's Gravity actually. Yeah, Verstappen had a very poor start, but big winners from this. TSR Clays has gained 6 positions. Also, F1 Gravity also gained 6 positions, and also Surprise in 3rd place currently has gained 4 positions. So a great start from those guys. And also Surprise is on the soft tyres, which are the fastest tyres. But if you look that further down the field, TSR Clays places tyres, so he might not be able to make work.
Yeah, that is something to look out for. And of course, everybody's doing slightly different strategies, so it's always key to look at that on track. But still, Danny leads. He hasn't really got much of a lead over Shurik, Fred. I thought Danny may pull out a bit of a lead here, but he hasn't so far. Jason, Mr. Consistent, down in 4th at the moment. Can we see Jason win another race? Can he take it 3 in a row? Down in 4th at the moment, so he may struggle. May have to do some undercutting or overcutting to make up some positions, but keeping with Surprise ahead of him. It's the top 4 sort of getting away from Thomas here, and there's a teammate Melanie behind him. Devout looking very racy behind Melanie as well. Further back we've got Smithson on the back of Clays battling for P8, and then Verstappen down
BPL Goblin has just retired.
Is that a crash, or is he just given up?
It's just rage quit, I suppose, if you want to put it that way. Yeah,
not sure what's going on there, but we have a lot of guys coming out of them, and the Silent Mole had a bit of contact actually. These guys both came out of the pits at the same time, so unfortunately we missed that. There, for anybody to fill us in, if we missed something, let us know. But
yeah, just just looking back at the race at the start of the race, Bailey or Verstappen's in the race actually started on top of Imp, as I mentioned, because I think that might have been because of the two. They had identical lap times, and that's caused them to actually start on top of each other, and that's why Bailey is down in ninth when he started inside the top 6.
I see. That's really frustrating actually for Verstappen there, causing the game glitching and not allowing to start properly. But looks like the top 2 gaining slightly on Surprise, as the top 2 is now 1.2 seconds, so Shurik out of DRS range of Surprise, which he'll be happy with. We've got Smithson and Clays battling away. Clays and Smithson not being able to they gained a couple of places now. Verstappen his way back after an awful start as well. Gravity getting 7 positions off the start, as like you said, Fred, some really good guys doing a lot of moves on the start of the race. What else we got close? It's really that there's a great battle with Verstappen, Smithson and Clays actually battling for P7.
Yeah, so Bailey, after having that unlucky start due to glitches in the game, obviously wants to get further up the grid now, because he did start quite high up on the grid and he's down in 9th. So as you just saw then, he ran a little bit wide into the right-hander. So he's definitely pushing very hard to try and get past Clays, who's starting on the mediums, and also Smithson, who's currently on the soft tyres. Yeah.
Yourself, Verstappen or Bailey, the youngest driver we have in Tier 2. It's incredible what he can do at his age. I wish I was that good, and I'm 22, so yeah, I wish I had his skill. But yeah, these guys coming round the final bend. Clays will be under pressure from Smithson and Verstappen as they come round the final bend. Actually, Verstappen looking closer to Smithson. Smithson is the gear move
down the inside of Surprise. Surprise has been forced off.
Yeah, he was, and Jason keeping 4th for now, but Verstappen and Clay still battling away behind. But no move from there. It's difficult to know who to stay on board with, really, Fred. We're battling all over the track. Further down, Drawmaster and F1 Gravity are very close as well. And then further back, it seems a bit of a gap further back with those other guys towards the bottom of the grid. But let's try and stay on board with Jason and Surprise as they battle away for P3.
Yeah, and 2 Ferrari drivers of Thomas and Manley are obviously looking at this, licking their lips, waiting to see if either Jason or Surprise makes a mistake and if they can pounce on it. Because Thomas, when he's got a good bit of confidence at certain tracks such as Spain, he is very quick. So as we saw in Australia, where he did finish inside the top 3 after a great performance, and managed to stay with Danny and Jason at the end of the race. So maybe he could be looking for a potential podium hit today.
Yeah, I think with Tom in Australia, he had a penalty right at the end, which caused him to drop back, and he made the move, but of course didn't do anything there. But Jason and Surprise, Surprise weaving on the straight. Jason managed to keep with him. That's an unusual move from Surprise there. Will we see him move
Jason now? Fixed better of it.
Too far back to make a move, but the SRL guys with Thomas and Menley fighting away. Smithson down the inside of Clays coming into turn 1. That's a great move from the McLaren driver, and he's got that position. Little train here battling for P7. Will we see Verstappen make any moves towards the start of sector 2? Will he pop it down the inside? Looking racy, fakes the move there, doesn't do the move in the end, but this is a great battle we have here, Fred, for P7.
Yeah, and of course we've got Bailey right behind, just looking at these two, and they're going side by side now, as Clays has gone for a move, and he's almost made it stick. I think Smithson's got the better run, but Bailey again just sitting behind, waiting for one of them to make a mistake, and he can pounce on that opportunity. It's actually now Clays got a bad run out of here, so Bailey may go for a move.
Of 2 DRS rates, will we see him? These guys, that Smithson going very defensive, any late lunges, doesn't look like there from anybody on lap number 6. But further up, Jason and Surprise still battling away. Danny's actually broken the DRS on Shurik, so that's going to be really help the SCS driver. But we'll stay on board with Surprise and Jason. Surprise going very defensive already.
I'll go for the battle for 6th.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And will Jason be able to get? He's catching rapidly. Devout gets a 3-second penalty. Jason on the inside line. Can he make the move stick? Diving down the inside into turn 1. Looks like Surprise gets a better run turn 1 and 2. But we'll stay on board with this battle. Jason right on the gearbox of Surprise. Can he make the move coming towards sector 2? Can he pop it down the inside? Looks a bit too far back for now. But Surprise keeps P3 for now, Fred.
Yeah, so no changes in the battle for 7th currently, but there was a battle behind where Drawmaster managed to pass Brandy for 10th place, but Brandy is on the hard tyres, going for the oldie, see him be end and possibly re-pass Drawmaster at the end of the race. Yeah,
of course, strategy is really going to come into play with this race. Only lap 7 of 33 here in Spain. A lot of people are saying in the chat, Fred, there should be a restart due to that crazy start with the timing glitch that with people starting on top of each other. But doesn't look. Haven't heard anything from the league owners, so we'll keep on watching this. We've got Goblin has just left the session. He did retire earlier, but there is a battle. Clays and Verstappen. Can Verstappen go around the outside of Clays? That is a great move from the Renault driver. Can he keep the move? Can he go around the outside still? He will have the inside line for this next part of the chain. Bit of wheel bashing from both the drivers. Who will make the move stick? It looks
Jason's right
still
behind them,
side by side.
now. Jason's going to go for a move.
Okay.
Here goes Jason.
There we go. Jason down the inside.
Surprise.
Can he make the move stick?
Goes to the switchback.
Because there's battle of the place.
Now behind Clays, and Clays, they made contact, and Verstappen's lost his wing. He's lost the right side of his wing. And now Drawmaster's going around the outside of Clays for P9. This is absolutely insane. Now he's going to try and go around the outside of Verstappen, but Clays now breaks very late, but then runs wide, and Drawmaster's back into P9. A great switch back by him, and now Brandy is looking at him. Oh, it's incredible currently. There's about 5 drivers in it for P8 right now.
Wow, this is incredible driving. Oh, there's side by side Drawmaster and Clays. Who's going to make it work? There's a 5-way fight here for P8. This is incredible racing from these guys. Coming towards the end of lap number 8. A massive train forming. And who is that further back? I think that's Brandy trying to pop it down the inside of Drawmaster. It doesn't make the move stick. So we've got both the Red Bulls, both the Renaults and the Williams all battling away for P number 8. Smithson's managed to get a lead ahead of these guys. Did you say
Jason's into the pit? He's going for the undercut.
Jason, the undercut may work. That may cause Surprise to pit, Fred, but we'll keep an eye on that. Bit of pressure from Jason. Doing something different. I think he just got stuck behind Surprise and couldn't get anywhere. So he's trying to do something different there. But he may come into a lot of traffic here now. But we'll keep an eye on where Jason pops out. Still a great battle for P7 going along.
It's going to be P13 for Jason. He's got a good amount of clear air ahead of him, so that's just what he needs. He needs clean air to just push and set some fast laps and try and get ahead of Surprise. If Surprise does pit this lap, so he's going to need to be absolutely rapid on this out lap.
Yeah, definitely from Jason. And the battling is still going along, Fred, for P7. Drawmaster and Clay side by side, but Brandy was going to get involved down the inside of Clay. Can he make the move stick? Doesn't look like he can. Seemed to break a bit early there, actually, Fred. And but this train, I'm so surprised these guys can stay so close to each other on track and their front wings. But Drawmaster on the back of his teammate now. Will we see some team orders from the RGL guys? I'm not quite sure what they're going to do. But of course, do you say Verstappen has got damage to that front wing?
I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100%, but it definitely looks like it's been damaged. But we've got Shuriken and also Surprise Mare into the pits, but Danny has stayed out, thinking maybe the overcut is more effective and that the tyres will be better at the end if he pits later for the hard tyres. Yeah,
that is very true. We'll keep an eye on where Surprise and Shurik pop out, but the battle for 7 is now battle for P3 now. So we'll keep an eye on that. But where will Jason and Surprise pop out? They're side by side coming towards turn 1. Just about. Jason has made the undercut work.
And he's right behind Shuriken now, so obviously Shuriken may have had a lack of pace at the end of that soft stint, because now Jason is right up behind him, because the gap was about a second plus going into the pit stops with Jason, so he's definitely, looks like he's lagging a little bit, but hopefully Jason can make a move and make it clean.
Yeah, hopefully we don't really want to see any incidents here in ULC, but Surprise further back is looking racy on those super softs here, and we'll keep an eye on Danny, actually, yet to pit.
I think he's going to go to the pits this lap.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
and I
Danny
think Thomas
pits.
will probably follow him.
Yeah, Melanie looks like he has pit already, so
Teamwork going
double
on
stacking for Ferrari. I was going to say that's one of the cause didn't want to get held up. So where will Danny pop out? We'll stay on board with him. It looks like he's gone on the same strategy as the
He's
other
not been held
leaders.
by Thomas, which is good. That's going to make sure he doesn't get overtaken by potentially Shuriken or either Jason or Surprise. So he might retain the lead. I'm not too sure if the undercut is effective here. It looks like he has got the lead and he will retain it.
Yeah, he does. I just quickly made a mistake there. Not super soft. I meant the hard.
Jason down the inside.
Can he make the move stick though?
Oh, he's been pushed wide a little bit. Banging wheels.
Almost three abreast to coming round.
And now Surprise is going around the outside of Jason.
What a move. What a move from Surprise. Using the opportunity there where Jason got pushed wide. And that Surprise up into 7th place. And Shurik is under pressure from these guys battling away for P6. Of course, Brandy, Gravity and Casey Clays are all yet to pit. So doing a different strategy than the guys who were leading earlier on. But yeah, some great battling here, Fred, for P6.
Yeah, we've got the people on the all-set strategy, so the leaders, or the net leaders, Danny, Shuriken and Surprise, are all going to have to pass these guys fairly and cleanly. It's not that they're not going to let them through, but as we said, these all-set strategies might help them at the end of the race, and they might start picking off the drivers on the harder tyres one by one at the end of the race.
Yeah, potentially. We'll have to keep an eye on these Bama shot as on board with Shurik as they come towards the final bend. Will we see any DRS moves? Shurik, is he within a second of Casey? No, he's not. So he will be under pressure from Surprise as they come down towards turn 1. DRS and Slipstream. Will Surprise make a late lunge? Doesn't look like he will. Jason a little bit further back. Has Jason got any damage from that bit of contact? Doesn't look like he has.
He might just have had a bit of a nervous lap after making that contact and then also being passed by Surprise. He may have just been a little bit on the edge, so maybe he's just going to get back into his comfort zone now and just try and push back up to Surprise and Shuriken. I don't think he's got any damage looking by the wing, so
yeah, I think he's okay. I think like you said, maybe a nervous lap with a bit of contact with Shurik and Surprise, and I'm sure he'll get back into it now. Down in 8th, but of course Casey, Gravity, Clays and Brandy yet to pit so far. But Danny, how is he doing? Trying to make his way through the traffic. He hasn't got anything in front of him at the moment. He's got 3 seconds to F1 heads. Should okay for now, but that time is dropping with Gravity on a worn set of tyres. Clays and Brandy are very close actually. We may see a move.
yeah, that's got a time penalty.
Clays. That's devout with a time penalty there, but we'll keep an eye on this battle. Will Clays make a move?
Surprise back, right actually behind Shuriken as well.
Yeah, Surprise. Oh, actually, he's really
got
close,
a very good run out of that. But then Shuriken's got DRS off Casey, so that's basically in his saving grace. Casey on the ultimate strategy is saved Shuriken from getting past here by looks of it, and then Surprise does go for a bit of a dive, which he does and he thinks better of it. Good defended by Shuriken, but he's run wide, and Surprise could get a better exit, but a good blocking there, good defended by Shuriken. So it looks like the positions will stay the same for now, but Shuriken's running very wide, having to ease off a little bit into the right-hander there. Yeah,
he did go a little bit wide. I think he defended into turn 1, and he's compromised his line coming through 2 and 3.
Gravity looking at Clays, very close.
Yeah, it's difficult really, Fred, because it's battling all over the place. I wish we had 2 or 3 perspectives on for the race, but. Who have we got? Danny's still a gap, but further back, Casey is under pressure from Shurik and Surprise, the man who's yet to pit, up in 5th place at the moment. Shurik's going to have to get past him as quickly as possible to try and compromise Surprise so he can get a little bit of a gap for him. Will we see any moves through the last chicane? Doesn't look.
Oh, Surprise almost looking at Shuriken as he ran very wide there, but unfortunately just couldn't make a move into the chicane. He's going to try and get a better run, and it looks like Casey has pitted, so that means Shuriken will not have someone to slipstream. He will have DRS, but he will have someone to slipstream, so Surprise could be looking at a move here, with Jason just a bit behind.
Yeah, I was going to say Jason right on the back of these two. Could we see a double move here. Doesn't look like Jason looking down the inside. Surprise.
Shuriken's run very wide.
Can
Surprise
go around the outside.
Got wing
Damage. Yeah, all the Mercedes got, man. Is that? And he's lost the place of Jason now as well, Fred. Left side. Okay. Yeah. That's a nightmare. He had a rubbish first race in Australia, and now he's had the same thing again here in Spain. But you know, he could deal with the damage and still do okay. But he's dropped back a place to Jason, and Thomas is right on the back of Melanie, not too far back either. So there could be some more moves and some more places lost for Surprise. But we'll keep an eye on how he does with that damaged front wing. But Jason will be hunting down Shurik ahead of him. And Thomas is looking really tasty behind on Surprise, so we could see Surprise dropping back, unfortunately. But further up, Danny, clean air at the moment. He's got Gravity and Brandy, the Red Bull guys. I'm just thinking, are they on the same strategy? They both are on the same strategy, so they have to work their way and make sure they don't stack in the pits.
Thomas right behind Surprise.
Yeah, it looks like Surprise is struggling with that DRS upstream. But will we see a move from Thomas coming down towards turn 1 on lap 15? He's really gaining rapidly on the Mercedes. Pops it down to fake the move there down the inside of Surprise, but he will have a better run with the more downforce than Surprise with the damaged front wing. He's right on his gearbox here.
Christ.
Jesus,
just shows the difference. A little bit of wing damage, and that just shows. Oh, now Thomas got wing damage. Surprise.
Oh no.
Oh.
Yeah, both. I think Surprise sort of cut across there before
it's
the
an odd
corner.
one because Surprise came across a little bit, but Thomas just broke way too late. But there's a little bit of lag now, so I'm not sure what's happening there. But yeah, definitely a bit of 50-50 racing instant there. But the one earlier on to do with Shuriken broke very late to avoid being overtaken by Surprise by the looks of it, and then ran wide and then came back across and hit Surprise. So it definitely looks like that was a bit of Shuriken's fault there rather than Surprise's.
Yeah, I think we'll have to discuss with the let's get say 3-second penalty with the race and show. And
that's out. I think he's had enough at this point. He had about 9 seconds of penalty. Oh, he's actually he's lost a wheel.
Crashed in 7 and 8. I think he's lost traction and binned it in the wall. The Williams driver, he is out of the race. So we've had technically 3
Surprise into the pits.
Surprise into the pits. Okay, so he's it looks like he's going to go on
mediums. Or sauce, I'm not sure actually.
I'll check the telemetry. That will tell me what he's actually doing.
Mediums.
Okay. Still a while to go, so maybe the softs won't make it towards the end of the race. But look how many places he's lost now. Fred down to, he will come out 15th, so he's lost a ton of places there due to damage to his front wing. Yeah,
just an unfortunate incident. Bit of a passenger when the accident happened, and unfortunately it's cost him. He's down in 15th now. Hopefully he can come back and try because he's so far, but hopefully he can get something out of this race.
Yeah, of course, in Tier 2 we only get points for first to 8th place, so actually it looks like there's some team orders for the SRL boys in the Ferraris. Melanie has just Thomas has allowed Melanie straight through there on the second DRS straight, so these guys are working together. So Thomas, I think he don't know whether he'll come in. He will sort of come out if he does come in at sort of around Surprise. But will we see coming in? No, he stays out. Okay, so Thomas may sticking it out and dealing with that damage. But Melanie will now be on the hunt to catch Jason, who is ahead of him, down in 5th place at the moment. But of course, Danny is in net P1 as Gravity and Brandy have yet to pit. The closest battle actually is Melanie and Thomas, but Thomas won't be catching Melanie anytime soon. But everyone else a little bit spread out, Fred.
Yeah, there was a battle between Jason and Shuriken going on, but it looks like we're should pull away for a bit, unless Jason just made a mistake or they've had slight contact. But it looks like Shuriken in clean air has managed to find a good breathing space and a good few laps to get past Jason and just stay away from him for a little bit. Yeah, there is actually a battle for P12 between the Force India boys, P12 and 13th. Don't know, we're both on the same strategy, so don't know whether we'll see any team orders. Apparently they're on the softs and mediums, but they're both on the actual hards, so I think there's a bit of a glitch with the game as we've seen in the past.
Imp and Surprise. Surprise, of course, on the fresh tyre is rapidly getting through. Will he be able to pass Imp? Imp is no pushover. Surprise right on the back of him as they come through. Turn on onto the second DRS straight. Will Surprise, he's going to go pop it down the inside of Imp.
What's going to go for a move?
Yep. And that is
as simple as that. Imp doesn't fight it. He knows that Surprise is on a faster tyre. And probably the faster driver in all fairness, so doesn't want to fight. It's
a battle with Surprise, who's on super fresh mediums at the moment. What about the Force India boys still right together? Looks Solomon trying to get past his teammate. Surprise, of course, has a new fast lap of 21.4. Be a nice fresh set of mediums, but it's actually Smithson and Tom are close. But of course, Tom is the man with damage, so it shouldn't be too difficult as Gravity gets a 3-second penalty. The Red Bull man, so that's not ideal. But any idea when the top two are going to come in, Fred, being on a different strategy?
Well, if you look at the first pit stops, the soft runners came in about 9, 10, 11. I think Danny was the one that went 11, went for the overcut. And with the lower fuel, we could see them pit maybe around lap 20 to lap 21. It depends what they want to do. If they want to go for a bit of an undercut onto the softs, try and get the fastest tyre on as soon as possible, then we could see about lap 20. But if they want to really get out the best of these hards, maybe block Danny a little bit, because Danny is behind them and catching, they might stick it out to about lap 22, lap 23.
Okay, we'll keep an penalty Shurik as well, so that is not ideal. But Thomas doing a great job of blocking Smithson, allowing Melanie to get a lead. So will we see a move from Smithson, who's on the medium tyres? So on the softer compound, Thomas goes offensive towards turn 1. Can Smithson go around the outside? Who is better on the brakes? It looks like they're both great on the brakes. Smithson trying to go around the outside of the contact there, wheel bashing. And that is Thomas a little bit wide, but he still holds the inside line. Can Smithson go around the outside of turn 3? He can.
Yeah.
That's a great move there from Smithson.
Yeah, great move by Smithson there. But as we said, Thomas does have wing damage, so might have affected him in that fast right-hander. And earlier on, as we saw, Melanie did pass Thomas. So there probably was a bit of team orders, because I'm pretty certain they are in a party together. So I'm going to assume that there was team orders there. And Thomas realises that his race has been compromised by that wing damage. So letting Melanie through, who's in P6 now and doing a great job currently.
Yeah, Melanie doing a great job in P6, like you said. Surprise up to 12th now. He's got past the Force India boys. Surprise hit less is ESR Verstappen. I think he has got his front wing fit. Actually, is that damage to the left side, or is that just the camera angle? I think he may be
Might
okay.
Might be the camera angle. I think Verstappen is alright. He's fixed that right side of the wing. He definitely had damage earlier on in the race.
Yeah, he came into the pits to put the hards on, so he's put a new front wing on, but down in 11th, so no points for him at the moment. But Gravity is finally into the pits, and he's put a set of mediums on that car. So his teammate Brandy still out on track, but of course didn't want to double stack. I'm sure that all the drivers who are the teammates are all in the same party. So I'm sure they work their strategies out before and make sure they don't double stack. But Gravity comes out in 10th place, just ahead of Verstappen. Clay's up ahead as well in 9th. Clay's the man who's the first man out of the points. So Drawmaster currently holds that last position in 8th. But yeah, every little bit space in these, a bit of a lull in the middle of the race, but hopefully it usually picks up towards the end of the race. And like the last 2 races we had in ULC Tier 2, you had a phenomenal ending to the race. So hopefully we have the same here, Fred.
Yeah, just looking at the gaps between the drivers, I've seen Shuriken actually catch Danny a little bit in the recent laps. He's definitely pulled away from Jason. It's a good 1 to 2 seconds between the two there. But Shuriken, as you can see, is not too far off Danny now. I don't know if Danny's just coasting, trying to manage the tyres, or if he just hasn't realised that Shuriken has got some very decent pace, as we saw in qualifying, where he qualified P2, I think it was. So maybe, just maybe, we might be able to see a final lap or last few lap battle between Shuriken and Danny if Shuriken does have the pace. As we see, Brandy just pitting now, following his teammate the lap after, and he's going to go onto the soft tyres, I'm going to assume.
Yeah, onto the softs for Brandy. Of course, Shuriken has a 3-second penalty, Fred, so that might cost him a podium at the end of the race, but we'll keep an eye on that. Currently 2.3 seconds behind Danny, so he's going to have to really put his foot down if he wants to catch Danny and get that 3-second gap. Danny on for a podium, good haul of points very well if he does finish in that position. Melanie down in 4th, Smithson 5th, Thomas in 6th, Drawmaster 7th, Brandy in 8th, and Clay's Gravity round off the top 10 there. And there's actually a good battle between Brandy, Clay's and Gravity. Clay's in a Red Bull sandwich here, and of course Clay's on a different strategy to the other two. So Brandy and Gravity, and should be able to get past Clays pretty easily with those fresh tyres they've got on, Fred.
Yeah, of course. They got fresh tyres on now, so they will be pushing to the absolute maximum to catch the harder tyres of like Drawmaster and Thomas. And also just mentioning, I just see the info of Tommy, who's currently in P15. He's in the McLaren, which is the TWRL team. It's not actually meant to be driving today. And Jack, who is the owner of TWRL, has actually no idea what he's doing there. So just to update the info. But also, yeah, we have got Brandy all on the catch-up now, Drawmaster and Thomas, who has got wing damage. Thomas is definitely struggling, and he's holding up Drawmaster a treat. So Brandy now trying to get this go take into sector 1.
Yeah, we could see a double move from Brandy on those fresh tyres, and further back we've got Gravity and Clays. Gravity just got past Clays actually, so the Red Bull boys getting through pretty easily. But here we go. Will Drawmaster pop it down the inside? Doesn't look like, but it's allowed Brandy to get right up. And Clays tries to go back through.
Oh, Gravity gone very wide.
Over the bump.
And he's come back across, almost hit Clays, very close. And now Brandy right behind Drawmaster, having to brake onto the right-hander to avoid Drawmaster and potentially getting wing damage. And oddly enough, we said that the two guys were actually going to be doing on the same strategy, but Gravity is on mediums while Brandy is on softs. Brandy pitting that one lap later, I think it was. So it just shows how close the compounds are that he had to go for the mediums a bit earlier.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said in the intro, Fred, I think tyre wear, maybe they can't, Gravity isn't too good on his tyre wear, so he's had to go into the mediums purely because he can't make it to the end. But Brandy going around the outside of Tom. Can Tom hold the inside line as they come towards the end of the straight? It looks like
brilliant
from Brandy there, and that is him up into 6th place, and Drawmaster right on the back of them as well.
Yeah, and also I just got a message by Dev out and in the private chat, and he said that he got a screen through his mid corner and went to the gravel, which was the reason behind this crash. Unfortunately, that's why he was out of the race. Yeah, Drawmaster right behind Thomas now. Thomas has DRS from Brandy, but of course Drawmaster doesn't have wing damage like Thomas, and Thomas covers the outside, back into the inside now, trying to get a good run through. He's going to struggle in the right hander there. This could be where Drawmaster makes pass, but he's actually made a mistake. Oh, contact almost. Drawmaster has made the move.
But Thomas trying to show back on the inside line, doesn't make the move. I think Tom is really struggling now, and behind got Gravity and Clays. Clays at the inside line, making up the inside. A bit of wheel bashing from these guys, and Clay up the inside, but Gravity still on his outside. Can on the outside run to Nate.
He's gonna go for it.
Looks like he can. Oh, there's more wheel bashing, a wheel in the gravel.
Oh,
and they both make it through though.
I think that was wing damage.
I think it might.
I'm not sure.
Who do you remember? Do you see who it was for?
Red Bull. Yeah, he's got wing damage. I can tell if you compare Brandy's and Gravity's wing on the left side.
Oh dear, that's not great from Gravity there. Contact with Clays, and that's front wing damage. Looks like a little bit of a racing incident side by side through those corners, so difficult to put a blame on either one. But that's Gravity 9th, but he will be in the same position as Tom. Actually, yeah, you can see Gravity struggling already. Fred coming through the last couple of turns to make it and hit the apexes. So Gravity and Clays battling away. Clays should be able to get past Gravity down towards turn 1, and Gravity hasn't got DRS on Tom, a bit too far back. But who can he make it down the inside? Clays went round the outside, it looks like. Oh no, there's more contact actually.
And Verstappen almost
going
straight into the back of the two of them.
Yeah, I don't know if was any wing damage to Red Race, but Verstappen potentially, if he can work to get up to 9th, if he makes some clean passes here. And Tom as well struggling. So Clays and Verstappen could make a couple of moves here. And surprise, of course, he's got to the back of these guys as well, Fred. So the man who was up at the front with front wing damage earlier on could get back into the points.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, we said we might be able to scrap a few points out of this race. There's certainly looking a possibility with like about 4 drivers within about 3-4 seconds. So surprise, on the freshest tyres out of all of these people near enough, I think Gravity may be on more fresh tyres, but unfortunately he's got wing damage, so that's going to be an issue. So surprise really is the one with the upper hand out of these 5 drivers, all battling for P8, I think it is.
Yeah, but one thing to note, Fred. Oh, it's contact between Tom and Clays, and
Tom's lost 2 places in 2 corners.
It might be
Drawmaster coming in. Drawmaster goes around the outside, but now he's got a bad exit. And surprise, he's going to get a really good exit on Verstappen. Sorry, not Drawmaster. And he's going to get a very good run on Verstappen. And we could see a move here. There's a bit of lag going on.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't take anybody out, but Verstappen holding in the inside line. Can Surprise go around the outside into turn 1? Surprise! Verstappen, great racing. Tom is going slowly ahead of them.
Verstappen very fairly leaving the room for Surprise, but there's a little bit of contact. But will Surprise be able to go around his outside? He's going for it. Oh, he's been pushed. And now Thomas is understeering mad into that corner. And having to defend the inside from Verstappen. And now Verstappen's going very wide as Thomas pushed him a little bit wide. Harsh but fair racing from all 5 of them now. But it looks like it's been a little bit of a split. But now Surprise goes down the inside of Verstappen, and he's made the move stick. It's a brilliant move by Surprise. And now he's going to look at Thomas. Thomas defends the inside, and it looks like the place is established for now. But look at Surprise getting such better runs without the wing damage that Thomas does have.
Surprise, it's just obliterating these guys at the moment. Incredible racing from these guys. And can Verstappen get past Tom as well? Will he pop it down the inside? Doesn't look like. Tom still holds off Surprise for now, but this is allowing Gravity to get and from these. Tom holding these guys up. Of course, Tom has damage, but Surprise and Verstappen should be able to get past him pretty easily on the straight now.
Just mentioned now, Brandy now going past Smithson for 5th place. He's on those soft tyres. It's not really a fight as Smithson's on the mediums, I'm pretty sure. And he's into P5 now, which is a great job by him after starting on the hard tyres, so he must have started outside the top 10.
Yeah, you know, we haven't even talked about the front because there's so much battling further back for the latter stages of the top 10. But Surprise gets past Tom pretty easily. Can Verstappen get past as well? Tries the outside line. Tom's going to struggle for downforce round this big sweeping right-hander. Tom goes wide. Can Verstappen pop it down the inside, coming towards the start of sector 2. He's laid on the brakes and he's up the inside. That is a good move from the Renault man, and that is him up into 11th. So you have to catch Surprise now and try and get back into the points. Surprise is on a mission, and he's got Clays and F1 Gravity not too far ahead of him.
Yeah, so as we said before, we're not really looking at the front because it's really... Danny is ahead of Shuriken, and it's quite close between those two, but it looks like Danny's just coasting now. Just trying to make it to the end on those hard tyres, and then Jason's a bit further behind than Shuriken. Bit of a mellow race for Jason. We expected maybe to be fighting for the win here, but of course, points mean prices, so I'm sure he'll take P3 for this race if this is where he finishes. Melanie currently doing a brilliant job in P4, just off the podium behind 2 Tier 1 drivers and Shuriken. And then we've got Brandy, Smithson, Drawmaster, Clays, Gravity, and Surprise rounding out the top 10. So Surprise does have 1 point currently and could potentially get more with 2 drivers ahead of him.
Just heads up, Fred. The only points for 1st to 8th. So Clay's coming out for the last point. Yeah, Tier 2 is slightly different. And of course, Surprise also has a penalty. He has a 3-second penalty, so that would also count him. Of course, Shuriken also has a penalty, but he seems to be catching Danny actually. So we'll keep an eye on that battle. If Jason can get within 3 seconds, he'll gain 2nd place. But Gravity and Clay still pretty close, fighting for that last points paying position. Drawmaster in 7th. Smithson 6th. Brandy, of course, is the man to keep an eye on the softer tyre. We've only got 6 laps left here.
Thomas is into the pits.
He's pitted. Okay, Thomas. Yes.
Go for a fast lap potentially. Get something out of the race.
And well, unfortunately.
Now he's getting passed by Mole, who's on medium tyres. Oh, horrific outlap from Thomas so far. Yeah, down to 15th, unfortunately. That wind damage has definitely compromised his race. He probably should have pitted just like Surprise did when he got the wind damage, but he tried to carry it on, and unfortunately it's not worked out for him.
Yeah, probably was the better option, like what Surprise did, but he's all over the back of the Silent Mole as he comes towards the 2nd DRS straight. Can he make any moves on the Force India man? Like you said, he seems to be struggling on his first lap here, and actually Smithson is in the pits as well. What is that for? Is that damage to that front wing of his? Not quite sure. It doesn't look like there's any damage.
We didn't pit for wing damage, so maybe...
Must be tired.
Potentially, yeah. Just couldn't make it to the end. And he's gone to the medium tyres, which I can't understand, because we've got 5 laps remaining. I'm sure softs can go more than 5 laps. As you saw, the first people that did the first stint did about 12 laps on them, so I can't really understand that.
No, yeah, I was going to say run out, but
Surprise and Gravity battling for the first point paying position of P8. There we go. Now you go down the inside. Great move. And unlike when Clays and Gravity did battle there, they actually managed to make it work.
Yeah, of course. Gravity is the one with the damaged front wing, so maybe it for Gravity is going to struggle to keep up with Surprise now. Gone wide. at the end of Sector 2 there. So Surprise finally in the points. Not what he wanted, but I'm sure he can still battle his way through and get some more points. But Gravity will be under pressure from Verstappen. Lap was well. At the gap between the top two, Fred, Schurig is closing that gap. It's come down by a couple of tenths now. It's 1.9, so still
Schurig almost completely spun it then. You can definitely tell Schurig spun him, or pushing by the way he's driving. He's ringing that car out of the corners, Jesus. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it to the end, because as we said, tyre wear is quite bad here, so all three of the top three drivers currently will have to start conserving at some point to try and make sure these tyres can make it to the end. For example, because Smithson could not make him to the end, so we might be able to see a puncher, we don't know, because we can't tell tyre wear currently.
Yeah, annoyingly we can't, as Tommy gets a penalty. You haven't seen much of the guys lower down, unfortunately, but Smithson 12th, Panther in 13th, Silent Mill 14th, Thomas down in 15th, Imp battling away with Thomas actually. They're side by side as they come towards the end of Sector 1. Doesn't look like Imp can go around the outside, but tries the cutback on Tom. It doesn't look like Tom holds the inside line, and he keeps the position for now. It looked like Tommy.
Oh, Tom's got more wing damage. They didn't fix the wing damage. That might be why it Mole passed him.
They're not.
If you look at the right side of the wing, it looks half broken. So.
Okay, a nightmare race for Tom today, and he's Imp trying to go around his outside. But
Surprise looking at Clay's now. Sorry, he's going to the outside into turn 1 on the medium tyres. Will he make it stick? He's broken much later than Clay's. Clay's just cannot with the medium grip, but they've made contact.
Oh no!
Clay's off.
Clay's off.
And Clay's the big loser there. Clay's has lost about gone from 7th to 10th now.
Oh,
just tried holding it in. He wanted to keep that P7, and unfortunately he's come off worse than what Surprise has, because Surprise has got no damage and is into P7 now.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Clay's got any damage, but you know, contact there, and there's allowed. He lost 3 places. The Gravity points paying position. Damage to that front wing though, so this may allow Verstappen to get the last points paying position. 3 laps to go, so we're still plenty of racing here in ULC. 3 laps to go. Schurig has actually lost time to Danny after going wide, like you said earlier, Fred. So, but he still will hold P2 because Jason is 5 seconds behind him. So Jason not really gaining anything. Melanie, keep an eye on that gap, 3.2 at the moment to Jason. But the close battle really is Surprise, Gravity, and Verstappen battling for P7.
Yeah, and just also looking at just like positions gained. I mean, you see the top 2 have kept their positions after starting 1 and 2 on the grid. But we've got the likes of Brandy, who started down in, P13 almost around. So he's up 8 positions. We've got Gravity, who's in 8th, and could have been up higher without that wing damage. As Verstappen is now looking at a move for him. Backs out of it. He's gone up 10 places. We've also got Casey Legend in 11th, who's gone up 6 places. So definitely ground made by lots of drivers in this tier.
Yeah, if you look at Gravity's, unfortunately with that damage he's caused, he would have gained a lot more. Only gained 10, but it would have been a lot more if he hadn't had damage and contact with Clay's earlier on in turn 7 and 8. But Verstappen looking very tasty. The man on hard tyres, can he make a move past the Red Bull driver coming towards turn 7 and 8? Tricky tracking zone up the hill. Who will be able to get it? Looks like he's okay for now, but he will be under pressure from the Renault drivers that come on to the second DRS straight. Imp gets a penalty. It looks like down in 15th. Doesn't look like Verstappen makes a move there, but still he has time. He's got, well, how long has he got? He's got 2 laps.
He's got 2 laps.
Still time. Yeah, 2 laps for Verstappen to do it. But everyone else very spread out. Fred, this is really the main battle to stay on board with.
Yeah, just going through the grid doesn't seem like there's any other real battles. We got Smithson, who is looks like he's being caught by Casey. I'm not too sure on that because Smithson did just pit recently. So it looks like the main battle right now is Verstappen, who is looking right behind Gravity. He's got the wing damage, struggling, and he's going to pull to the inside. Gravity won't defend it, and he's made the move, and he's into P8 by the looks of it. But then Gravity does try and battle it, but no. Oh, very close between the 2. But it looks like Verstappen with the full wing compared to Gravity will be able to keep the position. But now Gravity coming back. Verstappen's run wide, and he's going to go down the inside into the end of Sector 1. They're still side by side.
Yeah, this is great action from these
finally
guys.
Has got the place done now. But now, Gravity going back down the inside. Don't think he's going to make the move, and it looks like Verstappen will now keep the position, the first points paying position on in the grid. and P8 for him. And looks like Gravity is now outside of the points, unfortunately, and it looks like that wing damage really has cost him some points today.
Yeah, and
he's run wide.
He has. I was just going to say, Clays is not too far behind either, Fred, so he could lose another place outside. Well, he's still be in the top 10, but you know, of course, top 10 doesn't mean anything. Well, the last 2 points in the last 2 places in the top 10 doesn't mean anything in Tier 2, unfortunately, on points. But Shurik has actually caught Danny, but I don't think he's going to gain 1.8 seconds unless Danny bins it. Hopefully he doesn't.
Gravity spun. Clays is ahead of Gravity now.
Oh dear. Clays going from bad to worse. Sorry, Gravity going from bad to worse, and Clays now got ahead of him there, but everyone else a bit spaced out really. But as we get on to the last lap, Fred, who would you say your driver of the day is here in UCL for race number 3?
There's many options. I mean, you could go Danny because he's led the race start to finish, dominating performance, hasn't looked under pressure all race, so I probably would give it to Danny. But then we've also got Brandy, so I would say I'm going to give it to Brandy. He started down in P13 and is now in P5, so he's done a great job so far for him. And it looks like he will finish P5 as he's not got any sort of battling next to him, as Drawmaster is a few seconds behind and Melanie is a few seconds ahead. So yeah, great job by Brandy today.
Yeah, I think I've got to agree with you, but I've also got to give it to places, and also Verstappen, after having that glitchy start, managed still to get into the points towards the end of the race. And we've just missed it. Danny and Shurik have won the race. Sorry, Danny's won the race with Shurik in second. Jason will take P3, Melanie P4. Completely missed that, talking about driver of the day, but congratulations to Danny winning his first race in ULC in season 3. Shurik, his first podium this season, with Jason in third. The streak ends, but the podium streak continues, luckily for him. Melanie in 4th, Brandy 5th, Drawmaster 6th, Surprise in 7th. Verstappen gets the last point paying position. Clays in 9th, Gravity. Actually, Smithson. He crashed on the.
Has he not finished? No, he has finished. Okay, I thought he hadn't finished then.
Smithson had a lot of penalties. Actually, he's down in 11th. So
that's probably where he lost the positions. I thought he just lost it from retiring because I thought he crashed right before the line.
I think he's managed to get it. But yeah, Gravity 12th, Panther 13th, Silent Mole 14th, Imp 15th, Tom down in 16th, and Tommy.
And Tommy, who's not meant to be racing, as said by a troll earlier on, is going to come in 17th, weaving. But that's the end of the race. Congratulations to Danny, brilliant race. Controlled it very well and just dominating performance, and he's proving that he does have a chance of winning this Tier 2 championship.
Yeah, definitely. But if you guys want to see some more action, don't forget to check out Tier 1 stream. It will be at 7:30. But before that, we will talk to the top 3 here in Tier 2 before we get into that. But yeah, celebrating on the podium here.
Oh, Thomas has left.
Spain.
He's had enough.
Thomas, yeah, a nightmare race for Thomas, really. But the final grid here, Danny wins it with Shurik in second, Jason third, Melanie 4th. Brandy 5th, Drawmaster 6th, Surprise in 7th, Verstappen in 8th, Clays 9th, Casey in 10th, Smithson 11th, Gravity 12th, Panther in 13th, Silent Mole 14th, Imp 15th, Thomas in 16th, Tommy in and then we think it was who? Goblin and then Stone, I think. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
I
but
think
Stone's not classified, I don't think. So.
No, I don't believe he is, unfortunately.
Probably one of the unluckiest drivers today. I mean, of course, Thomas had a bad race, but Stone didn't even get to race because disconnected right before the start, and unfortunately, that's cost him a good amount of points in the championship to Danny and Jason.
Yeah, unfortunately for Stone there, but we'll get the top 3 in and we can ask them some questions, and we'll see how they thought their race went. So, yeah, don't forget to check out the Tier 1 stream. But before that, we will get these drivers in to the commentary box. If I can... Oh, my game's seems to be glitching out. There we go. Who are we? Jason, Danny, and Stuart. We'll get them invited to the party and we can get talking to them. And finally we get Shurik, and we are ready to go. Invite to party. Hopefully not. I think Shurik's got a mic.
We got to hope so.
To Jason and Danny plenty of times in multiple leagues. I definitely know they've got bikes. So just waiting for Shirk to join and we can get started with these interviews. If Shirk decides to join us.
I'm gonna take that as a no.
Yeah, doesn't seem to want to join us in the commentary box. Well, we'll get started anyway. If Jason and Danny, if you can include your audio, we can get started with these interviews. So, Danny, congratulations on your first win in ULC. After the start, you had a bit of a quiet race really up at the front. You pitted and then nothing really, a great win for yourself and first win of the season.
Yeah, I did. I felt great coming across the line to finally win. Coming out of the pits, I seen obviously the medium runners were obviously stayed out. I thought I'm just gonna save my tyres and not push because I don't want to get caught in traffic, and I'd let the guys behind push, kind of thing, and just controlling the pace, and then I wanted to keep the gap at the front above 2 seconds. So a few times it got below 2 seconds, but I just opened the gap out. So yeah, I felt as though I controlled it fairly well. And dedicate that to. I don't want to make this awkward, but I want to dedicate that to me, mum up there.
Yeah, well, it's a lovely thought from yourself, and congratulations as well on the race. Were your tyres quite worn towards the end of the race as well? So you seemed to back off slightly.
Well, I think on the third last lap I got my personal best.
Oh really? Okay, right. Ignore what I'm saying.
But it was still about 62 or something.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, again, congratulations again for the win. Fred, do you want to take it away with Shirk for P2?
Yeah, so moving on to Shurkin. Congratulations first of all, great race from you, P2. Just wanted to ask, what did you think at the start, and how was your race really? Like, did you enjoy it? Was it close battling? And did you ever feel under pressure at all, really?
Not too much. The qualifying could be better, but somebody was in front of me in the last session. I'm happy.
Yeah, of course. We
Hopefully everything is good.
Yeah, I mean, he did great in qualifying. I heard he's been blocked on your lap, but I mean, we were very surprised seeing you up in P2. You did a very good lap. And just one other question: when end of the race, basically near enough, we had saw Jason only a few seconds behind you. Did you ever feel like under pressure there, or did you know you had a gap and you were comfortable in finishing P2?
No, I don't feel under pressure. I just know that I have confidence. I was just the point, not more. Points on the podium and
Yeah, I just want to congratulate you on P2. That's a great race from you. If Ollie, you want to move on to Jason now?
Yeah, Jason, the win streak has ended unfortunately, but still on the podium, so still a good haul of points for the AOR team. How did your race go?
I'm not gonna lie, it was a very, very frustrating race. The start was absolute mess. 2 cars on top of each other, and Stone lagged out at the end of quali, and his car wasn't even on the grid for the restart. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah. I gained a couple of places because of that mess at the start, and then I think I was stuck behind Surprise. I don't know if he was trying to hold me up. I don't think he would have been because he wasn't even in second, but he didn't seem to have the pace, so I tried to undercut him. I pitted up in lap 8, managed to do that, came out just behind Shuriken as well, who I thought would be quite far ahead, but he wasn't. But on lap 11 I went for a move on him, and we got very, very close, and I got wing damage, unfortunately. I didn't think it was enough contact to get wing damage. It was only the light green, the lightest damage, but it was still costing me like 3/10 a lap, and without that, I think I definitely could have got second. So very frustrating, but congrats to Danny and Shuriken anyway.
Yeah, and again, that slight bit of damage can really affect your race. But looking forward to next week, Jason, in Silverstone. I believe you've won there in other leagues. How do you feeling pretty rapid run there, or are we looking at not so good?
Oh, I always think we go well there, so I'll definitely be trying to get the win, get another win again. So, and hopefully this time Stone can have a good race, because we haven't had two drivers have a good race yet, just like last season. So hopefully that can be the priority.
Yeah, hopefully Stone can finish next week. But I think that rounds it off for today's broadcast of ULC Tier 2. Don't forget to check out the Tier 1 stream, which will start at 7:30, and the PS4 stream, which will start later on as well, so don't forget to check that out. I want to thank Fred for joining me in the commentary box for this race around Spain, and I finally want to congratulate the top three once again of Danny, Shuriken and Jason, and we shall see you all next week for round number 4 around Britain. We'll see you.